guys, how's it going? Hobo Yeti here. I've been thinking a lot about the Supreme Court um, of the United States, their decision in Grants Pass to essentially outlaw homelessness. Um, so basically, in Grants Pass, they had a fair amount of homeless folk, and they got tired of seeing them, so they decided to make it illegal to camp or sleep overnight on public property, public land, sidewalks, and all that stuff. Initially, in downtown Portland, it was about clearing them off the bad element, clearing them off the sidewalks. Uh, if there was a place for them to, like, if there was a place in a shelter, if there's a bed available, then they would be ticketed. Um, I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of messed up, right? It's like these people that have nothing, if they're ticketed, they're fined the first time $295, then it's like 537.60, and then they'll be banned from public places, which is kind of weird to me. Is a courthouse a public place? Do they get banned from that? Um, and if they're caught, you know, uh, on public property, like a park or something, and they've already been ticketed, then they get charged with criminal trespass. A lot of people, you know, okay, first of all, not all homeless are the same. There's a fair amount of them that are just like me, just trying to do the best they can with what life has thrown at them, trying to find some hope on a day-to-day basis. Uh, and like I remember seeing in downtown Portland one time, there was this older couple and they had like a new tent, and they were just kind of camped on the sidewalks. And the reason a lot of people, granted, uh, you know, fair amount of homeless are tweakers and alcoholics and drug addicts and shit like that. Um, maybe they're downtown because it's just easier. They can um, get drugs easier. I don't know. But then there's others that would, like that old couple I saw. They would sit down because help was nearby. If you're on a sidewalk or a street, public thoroughfare, if you need help for some reason, you can get it. There's a margin of safety that's there that's not available like where I'm at. I mean, sure, there's some stores and stuff over here. Um, but it would take a little bit to get to, right? Walk through the brush and stuff. Um, so there's definitely a margin of safety when you're on a sidewalk near folk. Um, I don't know. It just feels like, okay, so we've got this homeless problem, and the way to fix that is to make it illegal, right? To fine them, to criminalize the homeless. Because honestly, what are homeless people going to do, right? Um, well, they're going to stop camping on public sidewalks, so businesses can then thrive. Okay, I get that point of it. I understand that part of it, but um, what are the homeless going to do? Are they going to suddenly be not homeless because they're like, well, okay, it's illegal to be homeless, so we're going to suddenly be okay. Everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be all right. That's just not the case. It's not how it's going to be. They're just going to go into the brush. They're going to go into places. Um, I don't know. They're just not going to. They're going to go from the obvious places to the not obvious places, and it doesn't solve anything. And I understand that we only have a limited amount of resources, but honestly, I feel like we've got these big wigs on the Supreme Court and in society that are just like, well, just kick them out. Let's just ship them off. In the old days, like the sheriff of a town would come up and load all the homeless onto a bus and drive them across the straight line and drop them off. Maybe give them a free meal, and then they're somebody else's problem. But like, what's America's greatest resource? It's its people, right? So taking how do you take care of the homeless problem? Well, in my view, you make them not homeless anymore, right? Then that solves that problem, right? I mean, I remember I was at the Humane Services office and I was like, okay, well, you know, just asking about getting out of the homeless situation, Section 8 kind of thing. They're like, it's a 2 to 5 year waiting list. And I'm like, wow. And yet I see all these empty apartments and things around. I see all these empty places. You know, it's the bane of our capitalist society, right? Like basically, why would I rent if I'm trying to make money and I'm taking my money and investing in a property instead of renting it for that'll be affordable to people? I'm going to rent it higher, maybe for a shorter amount of time per year. I'm going to maximize that, but you know, like I paid taxes a lot a year. I still pay taxes. Um, when I have work. Um, what did that go for? Food stamps. Okay, got that. But what else does it go for? Uh, you know, what a country does with its elderly, with its disabled, uh, with its people that are unable to do for themselves. Um, I believe it's the government's um, obligation. It's its responsibility to take care of that problem, especially when it's not that much, right? Provide affordable housing, or make it so that it's available. I mean, seriously, like why is it that in some parts of the country you can get you can rent a house for 300-400 a month, right? All bills paid and all that, but here in this area, it's like 1,500, 2,000 a month, whatever. It's crazy. And granted, I understand that more people are coming here, the economy's better, the minimum wage is higher, so it makes more sense to charge more. And that kind of goes across the board. But, like, you know, or, and I understand that we've got to clean up the streets. We've got to clean up, um, you know, having people on sidewalks and stuff like that is, you know, I don't know, does it reflect uh, our views as society that I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like, I understand both sides of it, and like I said, I completely understand that they're not all homeless are upstanding citizens. Some of them are criminals, tweakers, whatever, and that's the way it is. But then there's a fair amount of homeless that are just trying to get by. A lot of people. I mean, we've all heard about them, right? People who, you know, rent was raised significantly in an area, so people started living in their cars. That's what people are doing because we can't get by. This is not a self-sustaining thing. This kind of capitalist sort of maneuvering, and it's leaving people out in the cold, right? Um, like I said, I understand both sides of it, but and I'm not particularly concerned. Like if somebody came up to me and said, "Okay, here's your ticket," I'd be like, "Well, I can't pay that. Let me go to jail." Is it really more affordable, more cost effective to outlaw things instead of work with them in some way? Granted, say that you can't put your tent on the sidewalks. Maybe provide an area where the homeless can camp. Maybe put some porta potties on it, some access to water, throw a couple of dumpsters on that property, maybe rent a cop security force type thing, and enforce rules and make the area safe. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is, but I know that this outlawing people sleeping in public is just it's not going to work because you're not solving the problem. You're just kind of pushing it off, hoping that the homeless will go somewhere else. Well, in a lot of cases, they don't have the ability to go somewhere else. It doesn't solve any kind of problems. It just makes more and creates more work for law enforcement, right? I mean, homeless people aren't going to be able to pay for a $295 ticket. So what do? Well, just I guess I'll do jail time, right? Well, um, that's a hardship on the government. The government's paying out more than they're getting back. So it's just something on my mind. It's not something that really concerns me, but homeless, you know, the thing is like when you're homeless, like I am, kind of out away from things. It's harder on me in some ways because getting water becomes a problem, and maintaining that because I got to carry it, right? Got to carry all that water and groceries and stuff like that. But at the same time, I'm less likely to be noticed. Number one, and number two, I'm less likely to be accosted, right? Um, so I don't know. I don't know what the solution is for that. Um, I've been kind of in a middle ground place for a long time in my life. I guess a couple of videos ago, I talked about languishing and the depression, and that was, I'm still kind of there. Like I know that in my mind, in my thought process, the logic part of me says, okay, we need to do this, this, and this. Okay, we have certain disabilities, we have certain, uh, you know, physical ailments. The depression that really kicked my ass yesterday. Um, with the sunshine and everything, it's really kind of helping, but at the same time, I'm still experiencing it. So, but there's another part of me that's just, I don't know. I'm like, I have a tattoo on my hand, and it's, I guess, the kanji, um, and basically it says waiting for serenity. It's kind of a monk kind of thing where you're just waiting for, and granted, I realize that I can't just wait and wait and hope something and not do anything different and hope something better happens for me. But at the same time, um, I've tried everything out there. I've applied to every place that I could think of, and reapplied even, and I'm just not getting any calls. I don't know if it's because of my age. I don't know if it's just the area, but when you've tried and tried and tried, and it's not working, what do you do? In my mind, I try to keep on thinking of new ways to apply to jobs, and stuff like that. And I guess, I guess, I'm not hurting anybody by being homeless, right? Um, I'm kind of in my tent, just kind of doing my own thing, trying to get by. Um, and, I'm not hurting anybody. You know, I'm not a drain on the welfare state. I'm not, um, whether I get a job today or next month or the month after or next year. What if I stay, I'm not able to get anything or be able to do anything for the next year? Well, it doesn't really hurt anybody. I'm not hurting anybody. It's not affecting anybody. Uh, you know, so, and there have been times in my life where I was in this kind of languishing state, and just one day something in my head clicked and I was up and going again. So that's kind of where I'm at. Um, I was able to get some medical insurance. I need to make an appointment and go over to the doctor, but the anxiety with that process and that whole thing stresses me out. So I really don't know what to do. Um, I'm just basically waking up and getting through that day, like today, woke up, well, we've got to go charge our crap at the library. Um, okay, get through today. Tomorrow's the first of the month, so food stamps will kick in, so I can stop eating this stupid cold cans of Chef Boyardee raviolis and crap, so that'll be a boon. But I don't know. It's hard. Um, I was talking to some family last month and friends. It's hard to stay current with people, but and in a lot of ways, I've just kind of cut off people in my life, um, just to stay sane. Um, but every now and again, people will reach out to me, and they'll just they'll give me their the hard truths, right? I've been homeless a year and a half this time around, and they're like, well, um, you need to go ahead and get a job, and you need to do this, and you need to do that. And I understand that their advice comes from a place of um, wanting to help, but it's unhelpful. It's as if I hadn't thought of these things already. As if I hadn't figured out that I need to get back on my feet. I need to figure out whatever I need to do. But there's always that well-intentioned advice that I don't know. It doesn't make me rethink things. The thing is I'm in a place where there's not really any hope, honestly, that tomorrow is going to be better. If I could figure out a way, or I could see some hope in my future, some kind of tomorrow that's reasonable, then I would, strap myself in and punch it, But I just don't see that kind of hope in my life, and I found that the best I can do is just get through today. And maybe next week, maybe next month, maybe next year, I'll be at a place where I can think further ahead, that I'll have some hope and therefore motivation. But without hope that things are going to get better, all I've got is, like, I don't, I smoke cigarettes. I don't really smoke weed, or haven't, or drink. So basically, I just kind of eat food, and that shows in my body type, right? But I have to trust my body type, But no, I'm just trying to get by day to day, in hopes that tomorrow will be better. And if not better, then somehow I'll gain a little bit of a shining star in my life, and be able to move forward toward the future with hope. Anyway, that's my depressing monologue for today, maybe this month. But I hope your road's a good one. And if you're homeless, I hope it doesn't suck for you.